Hello, my name is Amanda Estep, and today I will be discussing two provisions of the American Nurses Association, or ANA, as it relates to a patient's right to an interpreter of their preferred or native language. I currently work in a progressive care unit in an area that is diversely populated. The need for a language interpreter is quite frequent. Fortunately, the company for whom I work has made many formats of accessing an interpreter available. But unfortunately, I have seen for myself multiple instances where this resource is unfortunately very underutilized. Healthcare can be a very complicated maze to navigate. Since I am a nurse and I've also been a patient, I can verify that even as a nurse, when education is provided to me in my own native language, it is still difficult to navigate. Provision 1 of the ANA Code of Ethics for Nurses states, "The nurse practices with compassion and respect for the inherent dignity, worth, and unique attributes of every person." I believe the ANA intends that unique attributes would certainly include a patient's own native language. I have personally observed on numerous occasions of a physician informing a patient of their test results and their plan of care. The patient will nod along in agreement and state yes, they understand or that they agree. The physician will leave the room, and then the patient looks to me with a very confused, apprehensive look on their face, and I'm kind of left to pick up the pieces because that physician, mind you, chose not to use an interpreter which would provide the language interpreting service the patient prefers. So patients, depending on their culture, will agree with what the physician is stating based on their cultural and background, and they don't want to be rude. So this leads me to provision 2 of the ANA Code of Ethics, that the nurse's primary commitment is to the patient, whether that means it is an individual, a family, group, community, or a population. So as a nurse, it is my responsibility to advocate for my patient so they receive all the medical information that's pertinent to them in their own language, so they can understand that. It helps them to avoid any errors, anxiety, fear, and any misunderstandings. Otherwise, the cost can be very high. In a previous job that I held as an LPN, a Spanish-speaking patient was referred to our group for a laparoscopic cholecystectomy. Her day of surgery arrived. During the surgery, the surgeon actually discovered that her gallbladder had already been removed. He couldn't find it. So due to the fact this patient was not provided a Spanish interpreter during her consult, she underwent surgery unnecessarily. Clearly, this could have been avoided. Had I not heard the conversation myself between the physician and the radiologist a couple days after the surgery took place, I would not have believed that this was even possible in this day and age, especially considering the resources that we have available and the organizations which promote these services. Not to mention, the patients have a right to these services. So, this is just one of the reasons that I now strive to advocate that all patients within my care who speak languages other than English receive the interpreting services of their primary language. Not only is this the right thing to do, but as a nurse, it is my ethical duty. So thank you for your time, and thank you for having this discussion with me, and you have a great evening.